Hi, how are you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to kind of take a look at something that I have done in my own artistic practice for about 7 years now. It's something that I kind of stumbled upon and got a little bit of addicted to. So we're going to look at how to create paper flowers. So yeah, this can be done by all ages, but I think that, kind of the older kids and into the adults, I think you guys will get a real kick out of this one. All right, yeah, let's just get to it. So I kind of have 3 flowers that I mainly do, which I do like these roses and then these little buds here. But the ones that we're going to really talk about today are these little guys, because those were the first ones that I had started, and then that kind of blossomed into creating other types of flowers. So I'm going to kind of show you guys how I created that first template, and then we can talk about different ways of where these flowers can go. So you're going to start with just using something that's round, and you're just going to start with a circle shape. So I like to use things that are around my house. So this is just a mason jar lid. So I just traced that onto a paper and then cut it out. So I have my circle. And then you're going to fold it in half. And then you'll fold it into thirds. So you're going to take one part over there, and then you're going to zigzag it. You're going to take this part and you're going to fold it behind. So you end up with like a Z. Here, let me try to show you that. So you end up with a Z. So it's, you have it flat, and then you do a fold, and then you fold it back. So you get like that, okay? So that's how you're gonna start that out. And then you're going to trim it around the side. You're gonna round these edges. Now you wanna keep your center point, you wanna keep that pointed, but on your outer layers, you're going to round those edges, and that's gonna be your petals. So when you unfold it, you'll start to see what your flower is gonna look like. So if you want like a deeper petal, something more like how a dogwood kind of falls out a little bit more, you can do a deeper cut on those, but you don't want to go too far down to the center. So you'll have that. So you have 6 petals. What we're going to do is cut out one of those petals, but you want to leave a little tab. So you just kind of cut in from the fold. So I'm out the fold, and I'm going to angle it in and then cut down and then cut in towards that fold. And I'm going to show you real quick up close. So you just create like a tab on one of your petals. So this one will end up just cutting it out the rest of the way. So you just have that little tab like that. So then you have 5 petals and then a tab on one of your petals. So with this paper one, you'll want to create something that's a little bit more stiff than this. I like to use the back of notebooks, that kind of cardboard, but it's like a soft cardboard that you can cut into. So this is one that I created 7 years ago that I still use. So this is my little template. So I use that and I trace it, and then I cut out stacks of probably about 6 or so. So I'm not like cutting each flower out. So I just cut a stack of those flowers out, and then whenever they're all cut out and you got your little tab, you just put a little bit of glue on that tab. You don't need a whole lot. And then just fold it around, and then that cones your flower. And then I let that dry. So you can use heavy scrapbook paper. You can do textured paper. Whenever I had started out, I was using an old book. So that's like a really nice aesthetic. I think it's a nice cream color, and you've got the words on there. So I really like to use old books. You can use sheet music if you have old sheet music, so you can kind of have a theme going. So that's how you do the flowers. With the roses, I started out that same way, but I just layer up, and I've slowly cut down out more petals as I go down. And then eventually I get down to just the little guys here. But that's an 8-layer system that I kind of developed. There's a couple of different patterns of things that people have come up with. That's just one that I came up with. So I just do those all individually and then glue them together, and then I hot glue them all. I stack them and hot glue them all. And then for the bulbs, I just use water balloons. So I don't even blow it up. I just kind of capture some air in there and tie it so it's just a little bulb, and then it's just a paper mache system where I just take 2 sheets of tissue paper, I glue them and then layer them around that water balloon, and then I hang it up, let it dry, and then I just pop the water balloon out of the thing and I reuse the water balloon. So you don't have to go through a bunch of water balloons for that, and that one's really simple and easy. So something that I do with my flowers is I put them on a wire stem. So I just get the spools of wire. I tend to do the copper because that's just something I like, but they make it in gold and silver. But you just cut out a thing of that. You take pliers, and I start with the center. So I create a center for my flower. So I just pinch it and then twist it around. And then I kind of back twist so I can get my pliers out, but that creates a nice little spiral there, and it doesn't have to be pretty or perfect. And then I just kind of pinch it and then bring it down. So that way my spiral is flat and my stem is straight down. Then on my flower, I just use a straight pin and poke a hole in there. So that way I don't risk tearing my flower. And then I just feed the end of the wire through that hole if I can get it in. And then I get my pliers again and I pinch as close down to the bottom as I can. And then I just take that wire and I just kind of bring it up and wrap it around the base and then bring it down. So that gives me a base for my flower so it doesn't fall down. And then, sorry, that's really shaky, the wire. But then I've got a nice center on there. So that creates a really lovely little flower. Now to display these, you can stick them in a vase if you want to. But one thing that I really like to do is I get a branch and then I wrap the flowers around the branch, and it just creates the most lovely little thing that you can hang up in your house and just warm up the room. Just looking at this, it makes me really, really happy. So that's just some little things that I do with the flowers. So I want to see what you guys create. So share what you guys make. Tag the Quincy Art Center at Quincy Art Center. And I hope you guys have a blast making these. Come up with your own patterns and show me what you guys can do. This is like a really great springtime one, so you can bring the outdoors in and they don't die either, so they'll stay around for a while. Yeah, have fun creating.